Hello, folks, and welcome to something I wasn't sure I was going to be recording. I've been fussing about playing this for the last while. I know it feels weird coming back to this game. I haven't really touched it in years. I logged in once a good while back, thinking, yeah, I better go record this at some stage. Never did. Logged in the other day, having a look at some new things, and logged out. I didn't play because I couldn't even undock in the ship I had. It was they've introduced a free play mode, Alpha, and they also have Omega. So if you're an Alpha clone, you have some degree of access to the game, but it's restricted compared to an Omegas. Omegas also have other bonuses. So there's daily rewards. That was an Alpha reward. Uh, I claimed it, and I can't claim it again since I'm now an Omega. Even though I'm now an Omega. Well, here I was. So this is new. They used to do different events where they gave away things. Though don't remember the Guardians Gala. Maybe I just missed it. This is new. So redeem items. Just have to drag them over to this dude. 20,000 been added to him, and all these items have also been given to him.
Connecting.
Yep, this is the same character I made when I was a kid. I was like probably barely old enough to play this game. So since I'm now a Mega, it means I have full access to all ships in the game. In theory, I can train any of the 466 skills to maximum level. I train at double speed, which is new. There was no speed increasers like that before, but that was because you don't get to play or you have subscription. So yeah, and the Trigavilion, it's like a new alien faction, I think. In Evil Line, previously there was no aliens. Everyone was a human. There was just like the Jovians being really fucked up humans. For those who don't know the EVE Online lore, basically, a wormhole opened in somewhere in the Sol system, and humanity's like, oh, it seems stable, let's go through it. So they end up colonizing the other side of space, and it's fantastic for a while. Eventually, the wormhole does shutter and close, trapping all the colonists away from Earth. Most die. The Jovians were the ones least affected, and as such are the first ahead technologically. There's four other empires, though. The Kaldori, the Galente, the Minmatar, and the Amar. The Amar are slaving religious fanatics. The Kaldari are cyberpunk dystopia megacorps in space. The Minmatar are like tribal spiritualists in space, and the Galante, I don't know how you meant to say it, are like space French, but with the whole I know, a bit of an American vibe to them. So then there's other like breakaway factions and whatnot. You can see it here via. No, it's not that. That's my ship. It's a Galente Ishtar, an upgraded cruiser. It's a drone boat. Cost me a pretty penny. Project Discovery, which is a new thing I've never dealt with. So I was holding on to that so we could do it together. The UI placement's changed. They used to have the feature, the ship tree just over here. So, Minmatar. Space religious zealots that enslave people. They see themselves as uh, the they're God's chosen people or what have you. They're the pinnacle. So they are chosen to rule over all. I can't quite remember the phrasing. Just that they were gobshites. Though they do have fantastic color scheme. Let's just click onto this one. You can also get these now, but I'm not gonna buy those. Like seriously, look, that's fantastic. The one ship they have, this is very close to it. It's meant people were joking, it looked like a space dildo. The ship just looks like a fucking dildo. Um, I'm just gonna stop there to check a thing. May edit point phrasing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, I can't remember what ship it was. There's also some new ships that have been added in Marauders. I think they're new. Ooh. Maybe it's this ship that. I've no idea. These are, as far as I can tell, spin-off. Like, see the silhouette of this matches this. The Marauder up here, the Paladin, is merely a. It's built off the chassis of this, of the Apocalypse. Well, like if I go here, the Ishtar is built off the chassis of a Vexor. So anyway, so yeah, religious fanatics, corporate things, space French Americans, and tribal spiritualists. Then there's other factions. There's OR, which are the industrial backbone. They are the mining faction. There's Gustavus Pirates. I can't quite remember. I think they're Kodori Pirates. Basically, each of the main empires have a spin-off pirate group. It would be handy if they're below each one, but they aren't. The Sasha's Nation, they're a separate one. They don't count. They're basically this one guy, Sancha, sorry. He split off from whatever faction he was part of, set up his own cult dedicated to himself with people with, depending on their level, had various degrees of mind control. The lowest tiers were just slaves to him. Higher tiers had a bit more free will because the slaving dulled their wits down. So if they're actually going to use their minds, they have to have more free will. But they could be head exploded if you needed. Apparently, he eventually got killed off, but the nation's still going. There's actually a good little, like, you can read canon stories from the setting. Like, there's one where a capsuleer doesn't even know they have 3 people in their cargo container, in their cargo section on a space station. And a booster. Oh well, that's a boosted capacitor. But anyway, they don't even realize the 3 are there, but the 3 worship the capsuleer. Capsuleers are seen as demigods. It's seen in another one where some minor planetary governor has a meeting with a capsuleer, and the capsuleer is like, "I need this job done. Our facilities aren't good enough to do that. I've already upgraded yours. Oh, thank you. I am also installing further facilities here. That's a major population center. You've an hour to clear it out. We can't do it in an hour." And then the capsuleer proceeds to set off every warning in the building, because they just armed their antimatter turrets and were more than eager to fire on that position. At the speed the shots would have gone, it would have just obliterated the region. It would no longer be a major population center. The guy had no choice but to acquiesce. If you don't know what a capsuleer is, basically, they're the people who go into these pods. This is just a skin, I got it part of an event, but so ignore the color, normally it's a greeny thing. A capsuleer is a clone with cybernetic interfaces that it's basically the supercomputer for spaceships. A capsuleer ship has a normal human crew, but it has less crew than a non-capsuleer equivalent. Some smaller ships are just crewed by the capsuleer. So when the ship explodes, the capsuleer escapes in this pod. It's called podding if you get killed dead. And even if you get killed, your capsuleer wakes up in a new cloned body, the pod after uploading their mind in the last moments and sending them off. It is possible to lose some learned information, but that depends on the quality of clone you're going into, which may have also been removed from the game since I last played. But Blood Raiders are Amar, Angel Cartel must be Kodari. I guess the pirates must be Mimitar. So, huh. Because Serpentis is Galante. The pirates also do. You can actually click here. They they bring disparate things together. So the Gustav pirates work with Kaudari State Tech and Galente Tech. The Blood Raiders, Amar and Mimitar. Angel Cartel is Galante and Mimitar. And similarly, if you're going up against NPCs of a particular group, you pretty much already know what they'll use against you. If you're going up against Galante, I think it's like heat and kinetic. Like hybrid turrets typically do that damage, so that if you make sure you got good heat shielding and physical kinetic shielding, you'll do well. And you also know what they're weak against. Just NPC wise, players are obviously a different kettle of fish. Sisters of Eve are a cult dedicated to the wormhole that brought people through. They're called the Servant Sisters of Eve. The leader of it is actually the sister of the guy running Serpentis. This I have no idea on. These are a new faction, as are these. Oh, and also, what I can do... The Galante Federation encompasses several races. The Galantanes, the largest by far. The Federation is democratic and very liberal in a world full of dictators and oligarchies. The Kaudari state was once part of the Federation, but a severe dispute resulted in the departure and a long war between the Galante Federation and the Kaudari state. The Galantanes are the masters of pleasure and entertainment, and rich trade empires giving the world many of its most glorious and extravagant sights. But they also have no problem with starting like mob violence against people if in like other territories and whatnot, if it's not going their way. Like they aren't the pure good guys, if you get me. You know, they're nicer than other factions, but they also have their flaws. Everyone here is iffy. I've done a lot of jobs for them. This character is already pretty well built, I would like to say. Actually, I have even my own little planetary thing. Though, this is new. Okay, drones. I want to do some mining today, because that's what's been irritating the hell out of me. I've just been rabidly fixating on wanting to mine. Ooh, specializations. 13 million ISK. Yeah, do it. So, skill training in EVE Online is based on real time. You can now, though, buy skill injectors that just give you XP. But, I'm not going to deal with that. Since, but previously there was like a month restriction, roughly. You could go over it, but, likely held. Restriction on how much you could, queue. But now I think it's up to a year. You can also apply skill points. Oh.
Skill training completed.
Yeah. You can get skill injectors. I think there's some real money aspect to them, but you basically on-eject skill points, and you can trade them to other people for huge stacks of cash, or you can get them for free from those little daily patches, and you just get little boosts to it. So, again, there's some been changes that have come into the game that I'm not quite groovy with, but this game does scratch a very particular itch right now, so I'm just gonna have to live with it. And yeah, all the different factions have their own drones and different things. It's a very detailed game. It's very fun. Eden Calm. I have no idea who the fuck that is. Precursor. Huh, I don't have transport ship training? That's bizarre. Oh, okay, it's this higher tier stuff, which... yeah. It's kind of like a weird beetle-y kind of thing. Like, look at the legs. Huh. So yeah, there's tons of different types of ships, and unlike EVE Online... hold on. How do I bring up inventory again? Let's see. This is your cargo bay. Look how much space I have. That's not per a unit, it's like... go here. Attributes. Volume. This is how much space each shot takes up. It's not a one basis thing. This is what I was itching for. And then I can go to item hanger and see what's all the junk here in my hanger. Someone was saying that you can store 1,000 items per place. Oh yeah, do it. I've never run into the cap, so I don't know for sure. When you kill a ship in this, you get loot, and then you can salvage it and get these things. So that's a thing for thing. These are also really useful. You plonk them down, and they auto loot for you. So if there's a ship so far away, it'll pull towards it, loot. Then you can just loot this instead. People can try and attack these though. So yeah, they do it within a 125-kilometer range. They decay after 2 days. I remember once I fell asleep and I woke up and I had like Shadow Serpentis ammo. They're like elite pirates. These are also traded in for various things. If I find loyalty point store. There's this federal strategic material thing. I have no idea who the fuck this is. But, yeah. Like here, if I scroll down... come on. Okay, here. See, I need to turn in so many insignias as well as a copy of the normal gun, and then I can get a Navy equivalent. So you get these loyalty points for doing different events, for doing quests in this game and whatnot. I'll probably do some combat, but I want to use my ship. Personal effects. Search. Jesus. You need blueprints to do jobs on the to make things. Have jobs done in factories and the like. Different ships have different blueprints have different qualities. Like there's a limited amount of runs they can do, or they could be infinite. With large containers, you can use these to sort things. So remember, someone was saying you could only have 1,000 items on a station. You could have 1,000 containers with however many items those containers can fit. There's also drones, think like limpets, but they can be used offensively, defensively, they can mine, they can salvage, they can fight. That's how I didn't die when I got attacked while I was asleep. This is recording, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, just had to check something. Ooh, hacker card, acceleration gate keys. Alright, I don't recognize most of this. but you don't. They aren't one-use things. You can get them back. You can, um, they only stop working if you abandon them. Even then, you can come back and get them if you're lucky. Time limits, or if they get destroyed. They aren't, and they don't suicide as easy as limpets do. They're a much more durable, high-quality thing. Here's ore in this game. I don't remember having this got that much, but yeah, they break down into different quality and amount of resources. I need. Was this what I was using? No, no, that wouldn't be. You ship tree, or I want to do some mining. Okay, maybe it was. I don't remember that. I thought I had a different one. Different name, but apparently not. Alright, we'll head here, so. Okay, set the destination. Don't know of an easy way to just close everything. This ship is going to deplete very quickly. It seems they removed the cap recharger slot. Yeah, it seems like they nerfed this ever so slightly. The issue was that jump drive, when active, is very potent. Anyway, this is my ship in all its glory, all its horror. Just hiring the volume a little. One second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just something up for not to be in the video was there. And I can feel bubbles on my spine. So, let us... There's events... Resource loading. A Corvette. On dock. So, now I already have a destination set, a path over here. So I just hit this.
Autopilot engaged.
And my ship will handle the approach.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
This bar is new. There's the hangars. You can actually see well inside this ship. I never actually really got to use it. I ground a ton of low-level minerals to actually be able to afford it. And then I just burnt myself the hell out.
Approaching Stargate.
So here's the different things over here. Like different tabs. I think you can just have it all set together. Probably should, really. Can't remember why it's not. There we go. So there's the sentry guns, there's customs, sentry guns, a billboard. Show info. Yeah, there's billboards, ads.
Autopilot jumping.
Not too useful to us. Project Discovery. Let's have a look at this while we're going. Begin. I am Dr. Andrea Kosazazi. Oh, this isn't entirely safe. people could try and gank us. But I want to say my ship is reasonably well geared to defend itself. Reasonably. Ooh, I have 16 drones here. Can't deploy them all, but I can deploy max of 5.
Approaching Stargate.
Clear group. Reload all. Group. There we go. So, unlikely dangerous. You have like these modules here. So I can turn. This doesn't need to be turned on, but just by having this on, I have an inherent 17% resistance to everything. This boosts my drone damage. This boosts my resistances to everything, and these two are armor repairers.
Autopilot jumping.
So every 9 seconds, each repairs 368 health to my armor. I build my ship to be an armor tank. Well, my ship is good at that, and I've built my character to be good at it as well.
Warp drive active.
These boost capacitor recharges, and then here is a Federation there's a railgun level tier 2, 3 railgun 2s with Federation Navy ammo. You can see their damage fall off, damage per second, damage caused, and turret tracking. Oh, very nice. Professor of Immunology at the University of Cali. At present, New Eden's facing a new viral threat unlike any we've seen before. Striking both human and capsular alike, this novel coronavirus seems to spread more rapidly than most while causing widespread symptoms in its victims. Oh, is this a tie-in with the IRL plague? Making it difficult to combat. Thanks in part to Concord's swift coordination efforts, my colleagues and I are working to decode this debilitating pathogen by means of our newly developed Project Discovery flow cytometry simulators. Encapsulators such as join our team of data analysts in this fight. We'll begin your career as a burgeoning cytometrist with a brief explanation of tools of trade. Following that, we'll walk you through a number of training samples designed to introduce you to our specific methodology. Aid us in understanding how these viral threats alter your human immune system. We'll remunerate you for your efforts. As I mentioned, our project's primary focus lies in understanding how coronaviruses impact immune systems. In order to obtain this information, we utilize a machine known as the flow cytometer. Using said machine, we are able to gain insight into how viral threats alter cells with regards to size, shape, and more. The flow cytometer consists of multiple parts, but the process begins in the liquid pump. Here, fluid-based research samples, mostly blood, are pumped through the microfluidic chip. In this, the heart of our mechanical alloy, the sample is guided through a narrow channel that causes cells to form a single follow line as they are scanned by the second component of our device, the laser.
Approaching Stargate.
In this step of the process, a simple yet precise beam of light is shot via laser. God, that's annoying. Through the cells as they descend through the microfluidic chip. The shooting laser beam through each cell illuminates these building blocks of the immune system, scattering the secrets they hold against the final component of the flow cytometer, the optical subsystem. Within this advanced array of sensors, data is collected on forward scatter. The direct illumination of these cells on forward scatter, the direct illumination of these cells and side scatter, an aura of sorts caused by the laser beam. These two scatters are combined to produce the very charts that you soon be taught to analyze, granting us insight into the diversity of cell populations that exist within a singular sample. Understanding where one population begins and another ends is the cornerstone of our methodology approach, and is your primary task of one of the newest recruits. Shall we begin? Okay. Let's forge ahead. Okay, didn't think this was going to be this long.
Approaching Stargate.
With the knowledge of the flow cytometer in hand, let's forge ahead with learning how to interpret the data our mechanical eye produces. Still 2 jumps left, so may as well keep going. Guarding Gal is some yearly event, by the by. I know little about it. We'll begin with a brief lesson how the data is presented, so when you utilize the lab's tracking tool in order to analyze the data. However, if you feel you've already possessed the skills necessary, feel free to dive right in. Running a blood sample through the flow cytometer has yielded the graph on the left.
Autopilot jumping.
Each dot represents a cell. Cells of the same type are often grouped together in what we call a cluster. Your task is to identify the boundaries of such clusters. Doing so helps your fellow scientists understand how this virus impacts our immune systems. Now let's try our hand at identifying this cluster of cells by gating it off. To do this, we draw a polygon around it with our tracing tool. Click on the blue box to begin crafting your first gate. Well done. On crafting your first gate. As you can see, the goal is to demarcate the unique clusters while capturing as many cells as possible. Still, try to keep your polygons tight around the clusters. Let's submit your analysis now. Excellent. Taking your first steps to helping us combat the final threat facing the it's time to increase the difficulty and move forward with your training. Your interface should now be displaying a new chart. Here, there are 2 distinct clusters. In order to identify clusters, we'll gate them off from one another using our tracing tools before. Click on the chart to begin crafting the gate around the first cluster. Click on the second cluster.
Autopilot jumping.
Can I just like connect it to this? No. Yeah.
To station.
Well, sir, notice these first gates, this should do. Let's submit your analysis now. Hold on. If you look at the chart, you'll notice a gold line and highlight. This is referred to as the gold standard. Rewards you earn for each sample are determined by how closely your gate matches this standard. That said, remember that your goal is to demarcate the boundaries of each cluster. Do that well, and you are more likely to produce a considered analysis. Scoring time. The largest gauge represents your current summation's accuracy. The others are for comparison. Time to produce more accurate results. Aim to produce more accurate results if you go far within team. Try your hand at more Oh, we're at the station. It's time to try your hand at a more complex sample. Remember that the goal is to demarcate where one cluster begins and another ends. So hint, there should be 5 polygons on this chart. Make sure to hit submit once you're finished marking your gates. I jumped the gun. 5. 64. This is a separate one?
Docking permission requested. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
I'll continue that now in a second. Oh, that's where they meant it. Meh. Okay, we're here now. So, I want to switch to this, so I make active. And I will drop these off. Just do this. Okay. So, let us just leave. When you join New Eden, you're put into a corp by default, the University Corps. But if you leave, you can never rejoin it. But if you leave a player corp, you're tossed into a random NPC corp. I'm in the scope. Where, like, you know, with the Elite Dangerous, you can actually watch their things online. Like there'll be scope broadcasts over on YouTube, or at least they had a few for a time. I'm not sure if they still do. We'll head here.
Active.
My mind's after blanking. Apologies. So yeah, you're tossed into random NPC corps if you leave a player group. You start in a university by default, and the NPC corp, the scope, CCP, the devs of this put out videos under that name over on YouTube, under the scope on YouTube, done up like news broadcasts within the setting, like what's in Elite. So here's an asteroid station, belt. We already know what's in each one. There's also people here already mining. That is dense feldspar. Feldspar is like the most basic material. Dense is just like there's different gradings. There's feldspar, concentrated feldspar, and dense. Dense means there's a lot of it there. Okay, I'll tell them to approach in orbit. Oh, launch drone. There's a Pentis Watchman nearby. Oh, I don't want to approach him. Someone else owns that kill, it seems. There, just go orbit. I want to adjust my camera angle, but I don't remember the controls. It was working fine earlier. I hear the mining going on in the background, but out of the corner of my ear it sounds really weird. Like someone's just like, you know, it's a ghoul eating bones or what have you. Hmm. Don't remember how to change things. Good. Okay, I can't quite get the cameras right, but whatever. So, stop here. Should be fine. So, I can hit survey scanner. And I get a little pop-up. Remember, like the prospector drones, but so much better. So now here's all the ore within the next, within 22 kilometers. So I was mining this last, and I had quite a bit of it. I suppose I may as well keep going. Approach, and then from our drone bay, let us launch our 4 mining drones. Need to target you and you. Oh, I want. Oh no, that's in the bay. Mine. Mine. Gun on that. One gun on this. There we go. That's working. Stop moving. Isn't that lovely? And let me just adjust the audio. So I have to go over this. Isn't this lovely? So, then we go to here. And on principle, I'll launch for myself. So, it ended up down here. So, say if I get attacked, and I'm not paying attention. I get attacked, and like I'm off house. I'm off getting a cup of tea. My drone will try and defend me. My hobgoblin will try and defend me, and this little thing over here will kill will kill whatever's attacking me. I'm sorry, this thing will loot whatever's attacking me. The hobgoblin will try and kill them, and if it's just a serpent inspired, and high security, relatively high, they will succeed. So then this thing will loot it for me. Otherwise, the wreck would be after despawning, but by the time I got back or what have you, I wouldn't be able to salvage it and get those random knickknacks, but I will get something. So these are all mining. I've gotten this much Azure Plagocyte so far. Description. Azure Plagocyte is an uncommon variant of Plagocyte that enjoys a 5% improved mineral yield. It was made infamous in the melancholic song prose Minor Blues by the Galantine folk singer Jarund Drittir 3 decades ago. Plagocyte, I don't know, is not amongst the most valuable ore types around, but it contains a large amount of tritanium and is thus always in constant demand. Also yields some mexol, primarily available in high security status star systems. Security status ties into the speed of Concord response, I think, or like how some laws are imposed and whatnot, and the dangerousness of pirates in the region. Like if we go here, we go in. Let's see here, this security status. So in less than equal to 1. I think elite slaves are inherently fined no matter where in Galente space you are, but normal slaves aren't. Or no, that's... I can never remember greater than or equal to, less than signs. Never remember. Protein delicacies. 2 nutritious foods. Huh. It's a Kodari Megacorp thing. I guess that's why Galente's banning it. But I don't know why these would. Political, probably. But yeah, I can never remember how it is. But yeah, security status also ties in with player killing and the like. Player killing tends to happen at lower security status standings. So I've already gotten 8,000 units so far. This wouldn't have happened in the other game. But of course, in the other game, when you get those units, those are fully, worked. This I have to bring back to smelt down, which, if you go to attributes, units to reprocess, it's 100 apiece. So that trends, if I want to get anything, process this at all, I need 100 of them. So that needs to be taken into account. Planet management. Okay, structure management was something else. Planetary management, yeah. I played a little with this when I was younger, but never really got into it. Toxin. Jump cones are another thing. You can have a cone at one point and a cone at another point. You can then jump from, you know how I had to move stations to switch ships? If I had a jump cone, I could have just hopped over to it. But it would have different augments and everything. It's a different body. Production, supply chain management. Level 1 was for jobs within 5 jumps, and each subsequent level adds 5 more jumps to that range to a maximum 25. Day trading. Remote modification buy and sell orders. Okay. Procurement. Reduces import and export empire tax and customs offices by 10% per level. Does not affect inter-boss customs offices. Activity tracker. This is new. Resource harvesting, mining, or reach level 1. I never really got into missiles. I like drones, so I went hard on drones. It was tempting after playing them in the other game. And as you get better, higher skills in ships, you get better at using them in different ways, which depends on the ship. So if I just brought up my current one here, show info. The higher my mining barge skill increases how much ore it can hold, and reduction in strip miner, which is what I'm using. These. And ice harvester durations, and if I get better exhumer bonus skill, it further reduces it and gives me increased shield resistance. This ship is also uninsured. Insurance is something I can leave online. Elite dangerous. It gives you a bit of money towards it, but because the economy is completely player driven, they can't just give you a new ship. So, but the game does give you some money towards getting it. Resource processing, that's what I've been looking for. Not sure if this thing counts using drones, but let's hope so. I'm just gonna set all these to level up. Just scars. Keep reading this. This is Kermite. I think it's Kernite. Or is that really an M? I have no idea. I keep seeing it as an R and an N too close together. Here, 1 sec. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's enough. Social. What's this? Distribution. Ooh, mining connections. All the points when working for agents in the mining corporation. Right? Yeah. In this game, there's agents. They're who handle quests. For factions. People and places. No. Okay, it's down a little differently. There's epic arcs, and there's this one you can do every few months. You can do it every few months, come back and do it again, which gets you some rep with all the different factions and whatnot. But it is a kind of a long one. So there's a lot more here than I realized. Hijacks and shakedowns, nothing wrong with good old-fashioned piracy. Keeps everyone on their toes. Never done this. Seems like it's a good Galantale one. That could be of interest to do at some stage. But while we're still mining, because my cargo bay isn't even a third, is a little under a third full. So it's not, and yeah, you can move these around. But it's not saying how much is left in these. But anyway, storyline missions. It's unavailable. None are assigned to me by agents. Career agents. Specialized course. Mission finder and agent finder. Security, mining, R&D, locator. So if I go for security, they'll tell me I can set by level, distance, security, faction requirements. So to do a level, to work for a level 1 agent, you just have to be able to talk to that faction. They must not need to hate your guts completely. To talk to a level 2 agent and do missions for them, you have had to work with a level 1 agent for quite a while with that faction. Your rep level has to rise to level 2, I think, to be able to talk to them. Then level 3, you have to reach rep 3, rep 4, rep 5, and that's where it ends. You can lose rep with a faction if you fail their missions or if you give up on them. You also work from a limited pool of missions. So if you do security, expect to rescue a damsel in distress many times over. Those quests start, that particular quest I'm referencing, you've rescued some rich heiress from a slave trader who's been disguising his places as a club. That happens in rank 2 to rank 4. So it feels like there's a very small group of quests that you'll be cycling through. In a way, remember my critique of Warframe with generic quests that mean very little, with little to them? Yeah. At least in WoW, when you're just collecting 10 bear asses, you actually feel a sense of progression. There's a sense of building. In this and in Warframe, less so. Well, yes, I know there's the bigger quests in Warframe. Oh, we're under attack. So, here we're getting to see some combat. It's our Pentis Patroller. Regrettably, someone else got the kill. I could have taken him, but the Orca here took him out. That's what I thought the ship I had was. But, yeah, anyway, with my security on this is 1.2. I can't remember security. It's also kind of like a rep standing, I think. But anyway, this is so you can't combat log at NPCs. But anyway, I know in I know in Warframe there's the big quests and whatnot, but they're so sparse and few and far between. They often don't feel too special, because it's just, I know. They just have the same, when you're doing them sometimes, they just have the same feel as the normal generic quests. Mechanically the game's great, but otherwise it kind of lets you down, you know? I feel this game is kind of in the same bracket, regrettably, but it is what it is. You play them for very particular things, and sadly they don't scratch it in other ways, you know? But anyway. So they got the credit, so I got nothing. In this game, kills or pirate kills are automatically credited to you. They aren't, you don't have to go and turn them in or on. You automatically get them. So, let me see. Ship tree. No, I started on the right one. Oh no, the Orca is an industrial command ship. No, I wouldn't have had this. Bonus to ship cargo and ore hold capacity. Bonus to mining form and burst. Shield command burst. Drone hit points, damage, and ore mining yield. Reduction to a drone ice harvesting cycle. Boosts drones. Um, ore mining yield by 100%. 25% reduction in their ice harvesting cycle time. 100% bonus to drone damage. 5% bonus to remote shield booster optimal range. 9% reduction to effective distance traveled for jump fatigue. Retrieve command burst modules. 3% bonus to command and mining form and burst. 250% to tractor beam range. 100% to tractor beam velocity. And 500% to survey scanner range. So roll bonus is just a set thing. You're in this ship, you get that bonus by default. The other one, the higher skill is in industrial command ships, the more bonus you get. So for the top one, the 5% to ship thing, you get an additional 25% if you're maxed out on that. So yeah. The Purpoise is actually a lot cheaper. It's 110,000. It's Jesus. Right jump there. Capital industrial ship. And a freighter. Depending on how this is, you could actually use it as a mining ship. I used to you saw I think a cargo ship there in my list. I used to use that as a mining ship. I just stuck a laser on it and just tried to mine because it had a huge cargo bay for the level. This was before the Vulture was introduced. This thing, it's a mining frigate. I'm sure it's a lot better than what I was using, but I never needed to use it by the time it came around. So there's capacity. Does it have an ore hold? No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. 5,000. Yeah, I didn't have that. I didn't have that. I had Goente shuttle. I had this. Ooh, those are tier. No, ignore that tier symbol. Yeah, I had this, I think. With probably some hull expansions or whatnot. Oh, actually, this was the one you saw, but I'm not sure if this is the one I actually used. But this was maybe slightly better. Huh? Alright. Or. So. Let's see you. What? You've only 4,000 capacity. As part of its ongoing program of developing new products for the capsuleer market, OR has created the Bowhead Freighter. Oh, remember I was saying about the Sansa, or the cult with the mind control? There was a story set in that. You can read these all on the EVE Online website, or at least you used to. Story on that where, I'll look it up here on my phone. Seem to have gotten rid of it. Or maybe it's still there, but that wing was defunct. Yeah, no, these are still here. That link was just defunct. I'm not sure if they're still doing these. No, I don't think so. Um, but anyway, let's have a look at this. Experience with ship handling technology used in the Orca and Warqualt vessels enabled the Outer Ring Development Division to build a ship dedicated to moving multiple assembled hulls at once. Oh, remember I was saying the society fell? The...
Asteroid is depleted.
Oh, that's gone.
The asteroid is depleted.
New little UI, but um, the Jovians were at least hit. They have their own issues now, Jovian illness. They're all falling into despair because of over gene modding and whatnot. They've ended up fucking screwing themselves over. But everyone else, the other four empires, rebuilt themselves. Some planets survived better than others, and eventually reached out to the stars again and reclaimed their birthrights. Though now they're killing each other over it. So we'll just do this again, get a fresh assessment. Now I could go easily for something else, if I wanted. And why not? Massive score rate. Think someone else has hidden that up already? Look at. Yes. That's a 10% boost. So it's scorite, scriderite. It's, the ore, condensed, azure, whatever, and then it's another one for a 5% boost, and then there's another for 10% in comparison to the baseline. So yeah, or actually, no, I should probably focus on target. Lock target. Mine. And send the other beam at them. Ship maintenance bay capacity. Ah, this is its thing. So yeah, you use this to actually transport ships. Interesting. No, I don't. Just these are all highlighted, so I was wondering, like, what, do I have this all maxed out already? No, I don't. Expedition frigate. These are new. Here, let me just try and find this lore. I wish it was in the game. They used to have a jukebox in the game, which was nice. You could play different in-game music, or even put in your own. Oh, I also have various planets. And this UI has somewhat changed. Oh yeah, you have to tell the programs to start. Okay. Start extracting. Start extracting. So they get less per hour, but overall will give me a lot more. So yeah, basically you gather resources from planets, and you can then ship them up to space. And this is almost maxed out. I'm sure there's ways to handle this better, but this is my first time pissing with it, so I didn't really know how to do it. So that ended up being 2 million ISK right there. Great. I need to get one level higher command centers. Submit. And if we go to industry planetary thing, you view. You have to go to the planet if you want to get them off, and then you have to pay like an export duty and whatnot. Unless you own the export station, which I don't. Just turn this fan off. How do I slide this? Like it worked a second ago. Okay, there's a slight discoloration up there. Of course, I went with autotrophs, which are like the least one of the least things here. Could have gone with this or that. Again, I did this when I was like 15. My standings with Serpentis have very slightly decreased for killing one of their guys. Oh yeah, I was in Omen Industries, then I went AFK. Remember logging in once, I like just joined, then I got burnt out, so I logged out. I logged back in like 2 years later, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" It says he's been playing for 2 years. Like, I don't recognize him. And they're paranoid I was a spy. It was cute. Don't know what that beep was about. Ooh, our hold is now nearly full. Yeah, I don't know why, I just got a major urge to play this. Just trying to find this thing here. Plague years, okay. Yeah, it seems like they stopped doing these quite a while back, but still they're a good read. Let's have us set up to go back to the base. Scoop the cargo hold. Oh, already have it back. Acquisitions. Material acquisitions grab a sizable market share in a short time since it was founded, but due to its ruthless business practice and tendency to buy out competitors. MA's mother company is Quaife. It will pour money into MA in an attempt to make it the largest mining company in the Federation. Quaife is like Coca-Cola, but it's implied to use people as an additive to their drink. Like dead capsuleers. I think that was the lore for it. Quaife. I think. I don't remember. Like I said before, it's been a long time since I last played. So they could still keep going and trying to fill this. No, they're just gonna idle. Return to Drone Bay. Everyone's in. I think I would have to swap it out myself.
Warp drive active. Autopilot engaged.
There. The plague years. Fermar looked to the sun for the last time. His home had one of the most scenic spots on the asteroid mining colony. And as we stood at this living room window at the eve of the day, you could see all the ships coming and going. One had docked just now. Fermar inhaled deeply, holding his breath before slowly letting it out again. His hair was all grey, and his hands were rough and creased, as befitted a man who worked in the colonies all his life. He noticed his own reflection in the window, superimposed on the starry blackness. It seemed to be smiling.
Waypoint reached.
There was a knock and the sound of someone on the outside door. A man's voice said, "He's in here, sir." And another said, "Thank you. I'll see myself in." The second voice was much huskier than the first, warm but not imposing. There was the sound of a door closing. A man walked into the living room. He was dressed in black, stylish in a fairly classical way, covered with a mop of dark, curly hair. Noticeable, all in all, but not memorable. It was younger than Fermar by at least 30 years, but didn't carry himself with the same bullish assurance. Fermar moved like a man used to high gravity. This one sidled like someone expecting the sky to pick him up at any time. Terden, Fermar said. Hi, Fermar, Terden said. Get out. It's not what you think. Get out. I have a deal for you. I have a gun in working order. Get out. Terden walked over to a settee, and sat down, unbuttoned his coat and pulling his gloves off. I want to help you, he said. You want to do a lot of things, but help won't be high on the list. I wanted to see you on the sly, too, but I was nabbed as soon as I came in. His whispery voice was oddly modulated. It was sort of slow, get its bearings, and rush to the end of a sentence, as if trying to race past the meaning of his words. Security's tight here, he added. Of course it is. Terden ran a hand through his thick hair. So you know why I'm here. Your creatures are coming, Fermar said. I've heard reports. They're settling in the area, kidnapping people, same as they always do. Which is why I'm here, Terden said. Hear me out, but take a seat first, please. Fermar looked at him for a moment, then walked over to a chair opposite the settee, Settee, don't know what it is, and sat down. You're right. People I work for, they're coming, they're reaching out and they need new recruits, but nobody needs to get hurt. You yourself could walk away completely untouched. Everybody gets hurt when Sansa come in, Fermar said. We don't want to fight. We don't want people to die, Terden said, ignoring the comment. You and I, we know each other. Remember what happened last time, and I don't want that to happen again. I want you to give up this colony and convince its people to surrender so we can move in quietly and without bloodshed. You know what happened in the plague years, Fermar said. Why did you bother coming to me? Because I remember the plague years and the time before them too. I remember being taken in for a long time, while when I didn't have anywhere to go. For a long while, when I didn't have anywhere to go. I remember family that showed me a lot of kindness when I didn't always deserve it. Damn straight you didn't, Fermar said. And I remember Carla, Terden said. Fermar jumped to his feet as if he'd been stung, glowering at Terden, and seemed about to say something, hesitated, then really stood there in silence. Finally, it was as if the air went out of him, and he sat down heavily again. The two men sat there, unmoving. After a while, Fermar said, Drinks in wood cabinet, lounge, other room, no ice. Terden got up and walked out of the room. There was a clink of glasses, and he returned, handing a drink to Fermar and holding one himself. There's only one bottle, he said. I don't go in much for alcohol, Fermar said. Serve guests, that's it. Oh, always happy to be a guest here, Terden said, and took a sip. Then grimaced. Strong stuff. Fermar held the glass at arm's length, as if he had forgotten about it. He had a faraway look in his eyes. Why did you bring her up, he said. When we came in? Who do you think will be in the lead? When we come in, who do you think will be in the lead? Fermar put down... This is longer than I thought. Let's at least get my guy out to mining again. What is the... Alt-C. What a setting. Plex Vaults. This is a new edition. I'm not sure what I think of it. So, we lodge this here. Then if we go to this, we can reprocess. And we'll get this. So if I do this... According to the game, I will be losing this much money if I reprocess it. The asteroid processing yield is actually pretty low. It's just under 70%. Jesus. I need higher skills for it. Non-repackaged and valuable item. none here is actually over 70. Uh, Different stations have different quality ones, and that doesn't actually help. Just minimizes. Yeah, different stations have different quality. Things, and then your own skills can boost it. So if you really want the best, I think you need to have your own station. Though there might be other ways of doing it. Unlike the other game, you can't dock manually.